Hi. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just checking on my headphones. So
Okay.
I got this piece of device. This is my headphone.
Yeah,
So this is awesome. Just making sure everything's okay. That I can hear you nice and clearly. Yeah.
lovely. So is that linked up to your implant, your device?
Yeah, I got a cochlear implant. I don't know if you can see, but
Yeah, it looks
it connects to a piece of got a chip inside my head,
yeah,
and it's been 13 years since I have been an operation,
yeah.
and it really transformed my life.
And
And
you
just so
you
you know, I
yeah.
wasn't born deaf.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
So
so
so how did you lose your hearing?
apparently something happened when I was about 2.5 years old. We don't know exactly what it is, but the doctors said that says the ear canal seems to be enlarged.
Yeah.
So the hair cells apparently became dead. So to my mum, to fair play, to worry, trying to understand the situation, I was pointing at things, and have a hearing test, and uh, had a hearing aid all the way through my childhood. And it was difficult because I was the only one in
Yeah.
my area with the hearing loss, so I had to adapt to the hearing loss, lip reading. So yeah,
If you need me to move this away, like, are
just a
you
wee bit.
a little bit? Let's have a look. I'll just adjust this.
Yeah, that's fine. So
Is
it's
is that
been a
better?
month. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I was just saying, it's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yeah, it has. The last time we saw each other, we were both in Manchester,
I
weren't
was in
we?
Manchester. We went to see the For the Love of Food because we both love Star Wars, it's
Yeah,
sci-fi.
yeah, for the love of sci-fi, which was around about it was like December 4 years ago, was it? When or November, December 4 years ago? Because you recently posted on Facebook, you sent me the reminder. Yeah, and you said, was it really that long ago?
Yeah, a lot of
And it
things have
was.
happened since then.
Geez, yeah, like since then, I've got married and had two babies and new job, new town, everything. Just yeah, so much has changed in
I
that
know,
in
I
that
can't
short
even
period.
keep up with you, you know.
But I've always been that way, really, haven't I?
I,
So anyway, welcome to the show. Welcome to Cybernaut Club. Thanks very much for coming. You look great. You look glowing. You're fabulous.
yeah, all this kickboxing working out.
Okay, so you've been doing kickboxing recently.
Yeah, apparently I moved down south from Manchester
Okay.
almost 2 years ago. Um, uh, my partner, this is this house, and we've got this a little building outside the house, which
Yeah.
I set up at a home gym.
Okay.
It's my dream that I want to have a home gym that I can kick that punch bag.
and
So,
and
yeah,
take out all of
yeah,
your Scottish aggression, like take all.
proper bakey.
So what have you actually, I wonder if Manchester was the last time I saw you, because didn't I also bumped into you in York as well, I think that was
Yeah.
before. Do you
Oh
remember?
my
We just kept
goodness.
we kept randomly bumping into each other in all these different places. We were
It was,
both living in a
yeah.
similar sort of area, but we never like managed to meet up or whatever. And then we'd meet each other in York or Manchester just by mistake, just like on the street.
It's like fate, really. We
Yeah,
just we've been friends for years. We met each other through a friend of a friend, and then we random met up in Blackpool or Preston or Manchester. It's nice. We don't have to do anything to say, let's meet up.
yeah,
You're there.
yeah, yeah. We first met in around about 2003, wasn't it? So that's almost 20 years now. Yeah, that's how long we've known each other. Like it's like 18 years. And in that time, we've been to many films. many
We
films
met
together.
short, but I remember you were talking about, oh, I'm going back to college, I'm going back to college. And I
Yeah.
never ever seen you out of college.
Yeah. Yeah, I went back. I went to uni in 2007, and I pretty much haven't left since then.
But it worked out, didn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm always studying, and yeah, and obviously teaching as well. So yeah, I'm always there, the perpetual student. But that that was always the dream. So I remember back in 1998, I think, when I left school, and my friend and I, we were saying, man, college is so good. We were thinking, I need a plan, I need a way so that I can be a student forever, so I can always enjoy this experience. And that's basically what we did. We had I've never stopped. I always went to college and did different courses, and then went to uni, and now I teach in a college as well. Are you still there? You appear to be frozen. Can you hear me? Have I lost you? Oh, there you are. You're back. I don't know what it is. That's twice that's happened, in the last episode and now. And a message came up on my screen saying your internet connection is unstable. I think it's the family downstairs watching Disney Plus, like, and Netflix and this and that, going too
Yeah.
hard on the internet.
Yeah, this is why I used this iMac with the hardwire line all the way down to the router, because of the line of work I do heavy computer imaging, and I download it and uploading it.
Yeah.
You need a really fast,
And a
speed
reliable
feedback.
connection as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, can we talk about a little bit about your background and about your, like, what inspires you as would you call yourself a photographer or a designer, or are you a bit of both?
Well, I used to be a photographer. I mean,
Yeah.
used to do wedding photography for years, and then I realised that it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. So it's like going back to when I was 14. I love computer graphics.
Yeah.
I spent so much time on the computer, want to create something and all that. And going through college in '97, they didn't have computer at the time, so I didn't know how I'm going to bring my dream into computer graphics with photography taking over. So I did wedding photography. Then I thought I need to get better with Photoshop. So I went back to college to do Photoshop and get myself up to speed. As you know, back in 2000, everything was from drawing and into digital.
Yeah, it just went boom.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I think almost all illustration is now digital, isn't it? Because it used to be hand drafting using very specific tools, and it was that's a craft that it's a shame that that's gone. I'm sure that there's still courses out there where you can do hand drafting.
I think they still do it. They call it at the early stage blueprint, if you like, and then put it into digital blueprint and then bring it into life. So when you say what do I call myself, I'm a Photoshop editor. So I do clean imagery. I see things that is completely wrong and I fix it. I don't mind it. You might say it's a little bit negative, but I bring the positive into the imagery and bring it into life. So
with that, like, how long have you been using Photoshop for?
Well, I would do a lot ready if it would be a new Photoshop, but if I do it professionally, I've been went back to college in 2010. So I got better and better and knew that as a professional. So could you say 2010 or way before that?
Yeah, yeah. So like as a professional then for about 11 years or more. Yeah. Okay. And do you use anything else like as well as Photoshop? Do you use any of the other um Adobe Suite or Creative Suite, or do you use like any other packages to help you?
Well, so, yeah, there's InDesign, but family don't need it at the moment because I've got someone else who can work with me. Because with Photoshop, you get a photography plan with Adobe is £10 a month.
Okay.
So if you want to have InDesign and Illustrator, it costs you £50 a month.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like, so it's beyond the joke, really, because there's so many software that you want to use,
yeah.
but you only limit. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you're like limited to, you know, what you can afford if you're independent. So are you like a contractor, or do you work for a company right now?
I work for lots of different companies,
Okay.
but with the COVID, I've been with one company for a whole year and a half. So
Wow.
I've been quite lucky, touch wood, and just working from home,
Yeah.
moving my screen, my internet connection, my iMac, my own control, and I can talk to people who work in London or in Manchester on their social media team. Just talk to each other, say, can you do this? Can you do that? Get it done by the end of the day.
And do you have to work to really tight deadlines? Is that
Yeah,
something you sometimes have to do? Can
every
you
day.
Yeah, so can you give us an example of like how long sort of like a small like an average kind of project would take you to do?
Well, let's say, for example, I work with a company like Muggley retail clothing company like
Yeah.
Boohoo or Pretty Little Thing. Just to give you an example. So for one image, it takes at least 2 minutes or less.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's good.
and you've got skin retouching and the clothes to make sure there's no lines or gush or
Yeah.
something that's not there. The floor has to be completely cleaned and make sure there's nothing else look a bit weird. So you have to be really, really fast. So luckily I've got this pen just drawing all day
Okay,
long.
so you use the pen as well. So do you use a mouse at all, or?
Just E2, keyboard. I don't need the mouse at all.
Oh wow. Wow,
Yeah.
you really are a pro. Like because I tried I got a tablet for Christmas a couple of years ago, and I've tried using it, and it takes it's, you know, it's so fiddly sometimes. Like the difficulty that I have is that I have I've got 4 screens here, and 3 of them are
I'm
landscape.
not surprised.
3 of them are landscape. So yeah, I have to turn the tablet landscape as well if I want it to work on this, or you know, I have to turn it portrait if it's on the other screen. So it's fiddly to figure out which is the main screen. And it's yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
hard to get used
It
to.
is useful to have more than one monitor. So you can have one monitor on a portrait to see what you people writing or email
Yeah.
or looking for files, and you just drop it over into the main software. And yeah.
Do you have you ever used like an iPad to do the editing?
No,
No.
I like my iMac and my
Yeah.
pen tablet, because if I'm looking at the iPad, you get really bad net just drawing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for the line of work that I had to do, I need internet connection and download it all, editing, back up after 2 minutes, go, it's ongoing. And
So how many edits would you do in a day?
well, depending on the class,
Yeah.
the biggest imagery that I've done was 426
Whoa, 426 images in one day. Oh my
in
God.
one day.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I,
so
I feel really bad now because
well, it's like I say, it's depend on what they need is really.
yeah.
If they want to spend more time, if the images are quite small, it can be quite quick. So
Yeah.
the bigger the image is, the more time you have to spend. So for example, like JD Sports, I worked for them in Manchester. They were awesome. And yeah, you spend like 4 images a day.
4 images a day. That's it. Wow.
It's a big giving. So you can have 4 images or 8 images a day,
Yeah.
depend on how much work. You're talking about a trainers, and it's going to be massive. You see the banner when you go through in Manchester. You saw a massive banner as you drive through it.
So
So one of my work was there. It was amazing to see that.
it's like a massive point of pride, isn't it, when you see your work, you know, something that you've done is somewhere else. I did I made the logo for Lytham St Anne's Lawn Tennis and Squash Club, and my mate Kenny, he's like a director there, or you know, part of the board or management. And so, you know, he asked me to make this logo for him, so I made the logo. And now it's on the outside of the building, it's on all the trophies, it's on coasters and you know, pint glasses. It's basically, it's everywhere. And you know, just to see that, like, he'll every now and then he'll send me a picture of a new product that's got that logo on. I'm just like, I did it, like I did something.
No, it's an amazing piece of stamp on your CV. To say,
Yeah,
I've done that. I actually work it, but you don't see your name credit on the banner,
yeah,
you know.
that's
But
okay,
you
that's okay, I
did
don't mind.
that.
So because like with JD Sports, the image of the shoe or whatever it was that you made was so big, like the resolution of that image has to be really, really high, doesn't it? So what file types are you working with when you're doing that? What are they?
Sometimes
But would they be are they TIFF files, or like what extensions would they be? Not PNG.
it's in it's in a large format Photoshop. So that
Okay.
yeah, so it could go up to over 2 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So you talking about you know, where the label is on the side of the trainer. So let's say you buy have a N and you've got all the fur thing coming out,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they need to be completely clean.
Okay.
So it's small detail. It's like
Just to make the image look really, really sharp, or really, yeah, really smooth or clean. And
very
and
clean.
do you ever get asked to use any effects in the work that you do, like a lens flare or anything like that?
Depends. It's not that special. Oh, I did that on the wedding job that I did. I had to create a storybook, and I
Yeah.
had to fake the light coming through from the window, because sometimes it couldn't show through the camera. So you have to add a little bit of atmosphere into
Yeah.
the image. So there's the light show on the corner, but you can't see it in the image. So you ask it, just place it, and then
Yeah.
blur it,
Just put it in there.
put it in there, and
I
then
I once a long time ago, I somebody asked me to do, what year was this, like 2006. I was working in the civil service in Blackpool for the job centre, and somebody said, oh, Paul, you do photography, don't you? Like,
lose
I
it.
don't, yeah, not really. Like, I used to go around independently with the camera and take pictures all the time, but not like, you know, I wasn't a professional photographer. I didn't even have a DSLR camera or anything like that, just a Kodak. And he said, oh, my daughter's getting married. Would you like to do the photography for the wedding? And I was like, yeah, sure. And they were like, oh, how much would you charge? And I just said, oh, 50 quid. Like, you know, and I just, I know. like like an
Yeah.
absolute idiot, not realizing like the amount of effort and stress that there would be in. So we go to Blackpool Registry Office, take all the photographs, and I'm trying to find somewhere nice to do the photographs, and it's kind of tricky. And then I remember on that day, I parked my car like somewhere I wasn't meant to park it, and some guy blocked me in,
Happened
and
to me.
he
Happened
gave
to
me a
me.
hard time because there's no parking around that area. He gave me a really hard time, and then eventually he moved his car so I could get out. And
Mm.
then I took the bride and groom to Stanley Park, like where the lake is. So got them there by a tree, by the lake, taking pictures. Brilliant, jobs are good. And then I go back and I was thinking, yeah, I'm gonna edit these photos. So in the crowd, there was there's 10, 20, 30, maybe up to 50 people at this wedding. There was sometimes where maybe grandma wasn't smiling as
Oh
well
my
as
goodness.
she could have been. So I just take the smudge tool and I just nudge a little grin on her face.
Oh dear.
Or I do like the spot healer tool and just clean up like everybody's face, or just clean up the foreground or the background. But there was quite a lot of people not smiling at this person's wedding, so I just gave them all little grins. That's terrible, isn't it?
I know it's not the story that I've not heard before, and it get worse. I had a bride asking me to take out the groom brother out of the picture.
Wow.
I was like, okay. So it's a random thing, really. So what I normally do is try to be at the location before the wedding day and try and take some picture. And then you never know if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need to use that image as a backdrop.
Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So those were the days, and
Yeah.
moving on to Photoshop World, and I'm also learning about the new 3D. So I'm thinking of it, you know, because the way things are moving to is 3D
Yeah.
inductory. So imagine you go online shopping. So this is my job in retouching. I do online retouching. So imagine you're wearing your VR and you're going to imagine you're walking into a shop and you saw some clothes, you want to try it on.
Yeah.
So I might be doing something like that. So I want to
Okay.
learn how to do 3D clothing product where you can click on it on the internet and say, oh, that's
So
a nice picture.
are you going to do that using Meta?
I am
Facebook.
working on Blender at the moment because this is where I can see the online retail is
Yeah.
moving. I mean, IKEA is already ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
All their product is 3D.
Yeah, they have their augmented reality app, don't they? Their feature on the app, so you can choose like a table or a piece of furniture, and then hold it up to the corner of the room and see what it would look like and move it around and stuff like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
so I'm working to be part of that. So I'm like you, I always have to start somewhere. Then you try
yeah.
this one, you try the next one, but bring all your skills together.
Together, yeah.
And yeah,
So
I find it quite exciting, really, that I want to learn. And I've been learning about a few months now, so I'm getting there.
that's really cool. Very, very cool. And have you heard of NFTs?
Yes.
Non-fungible tokens. Do you do anything with that? Are you tempted to have a go with that?
Not yet, so it will be on my list to do. So
Yeah, yeah. So today I just signed up for one of those marketplaces. I think it's called Binance. And that's like the main NFT marketplace. So I'm just going through the registration process of that. And yeah, I use Photoshop Camera, the application on the phone, and you can add like millions of different filters on there,
of
and
course,
I make some crazy looking futuristic things, that images that I think could be NFTs. So so that's something that I'm thinking of doing in the coming months, like doing like a Cybernaut Club NFT.
Yeah, just imagine when we were brought up in the 80s and everything is like Back to the Future or something. If you think, oh, it's going to happen,
Yeah.
you know, then we're talking about all this software that we can bring it into life.
Yeah, it's
Oh, we're part of that. It's amazing.
it's weird, isn't it, that like you know, the vision of the future was always mostly hardware based. So people would think of you know, like jetpacks and, you know, things like that, you know, hover cars, or, you know, teleportation devices. But what seems to be happening is that software is where the future is going to be, and, you know, hardware's coupled with that. But it's like, where the future's going is that, not that we're going to change the physical world around us too much, but that we're going to change our perception and our minds by becoming one with this machine more and more, like becoming one with the simulation, with the VR worlds, with the AR worlds, with the, you know, like even you said, the trend is that online shopping is getting more and more in depth. You're going to be able to try on these clothes now, you know. It's amazing.
It's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be like that film Ready Player One,
Yeah.
where you just plug in and you go, let's go shopping, but you're not really touching that little thing. But
Yeah,
who knows?
I know.
But in terms of online shopping, I think it would be better. So with 3D, what I'm working on, so people can actually see what they are buying,
Yeah.
and correct sizes of clothes. As you know, people buy things, they get it delivered, tried it on, couldn't fit, send it back. It costs more money.
Yeah, yeah. And there's also an environmental impact to that as well, because, you know, it's had to be sent there and then sent back.
Yes.
You know, and that, yeah, so there's a cost and an environmental cost to that as well. And also, sometimes with devices, you never really know how big certain things will be when you buy them.
Yeah.
Like you know, sometimes even little action figures, you kind of think, oh yeah, it'll be a certain size, and then you order it and it's like this big.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
We got a complaint from the customer saying, I thought it was this size. I didn't read the measurement. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. You know?
Yeah, I read that in Japan, you know, food packaging, whenever they have an illustration of a piece of food, like, or a sweet or whatever it is on the cover, it has to be the exact same size as the thing inside the packet. So that's one of the rules in Japan. I think I like that. That sounds good.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Japan?
No, not yet.
I would love to go. I want to see all the sci-fi fishing.
So, speaking of sci-fi, like, what movies are you looking forward to coming out soon?
Oh, I don't know. I've not been keeping track with
Have
media
you
at the
not?
moment. I've been so busy just working, trying with blenders and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
not been really following what's coming out in the cinemas anymore, but more Netflix.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, that film that we saw, the Quick Game, the one with is it Chinese? No, Korean. 4, 3, was it 4, 5, 6? The
Oh,
game.
Squid Game. Yeah,
Yeah, the Squid
Squid
Game.
Game.
What
Yeah.
did you think of it?
I actually, I've only caught tiny bits of it. I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Oh,
But
Angie.
yeah, but Naomi's been watching it. So I caught a bit of it yesterday. They were trying to cut out some shapes out of a sweet or something. I can't remember what it's called, but they were trying to get stars and umbrellas out of this thing, and yeah, it seemed pretty violent. So yeah, I'll give it a go. But probably around Christmas I might watch it when I've got a bit more time.
Yeah, Christmas is the only time when everything's quiet.
Yeah.
It's nice. Well, depending if you're close to your family, but for me, my mum's up in Scotland and I'm
Yeah.
all the way down near Brighton.
Wow, you're that far down. Wow, that's
far down.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're even further south than I am.
No. I started up from Scotland, then Holland, then Norway,
Yeah.
then Blackpool. Yeah, I've travelled, so it's in my blood that I
Yeah.
like to travel, so I got mine.
So I was going to ask you, have you been keeping up with the Marvel releases, or not at all? You haven't had a chance to watch Marvel movies?
Oh, what was the last one that I watched? Oh, I can't remember. Dr. Stephen or
Doctor Strange.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't. I need to watch
That's
it.
old now.
I know, but the last time I saw it, I'm always in the cinema. I'm always
Yeah.
watching stuff. But as I got older, I got to have time for
Wow.
it's
Oh no.
crazy. So I just spend pretty much learning, working, play with the cat, kickboxing, go
Yeah.
for a walk.
Okay.
That's my lifestyle. That can maybe sound a bit shy, but I'm working hard to make things happen.
Yeah, to make
That's
things
it.
happen. So have you you mentioned COVID before, like affected the amount of clients that you had.
Mm.
How did it you know, when you know, I've known you over the past sort of like 2 decades, and you've always been somebody who loves going out, you know, like meeting people, hanging out with friends.
Uh,
How did you cope with
it's
lockdowns and stuff like that?
difficult because my partner, he did a bit of OTT, didn't want to meet people, didn't want to talk to anyone. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's go out. I miss talking to people. I want to find out what they are into. So I
Yeah.
can talk for hours talking about the iMac. But I also organised a group meeting, which I call a support group for people who got a cochlear implant.
Yeah.
And before the COVID, I organised a face-to-face meeting in the garden centre, beer garden, and in Manchester. And once a month, and we just have a drink, chat
Yeah.
about what's going on in their life. So because with the COVID, I set up once a month or something on a video call. Yes, there are some people who's not that confident to use video call because they don't know if they can hear
Yeah.
properly,
Yeah.
and there's no subtitle. Subtitle is not always true to the words, so yeah, so it's difficult for me to say. I'm not in Manchester, so I can't really help you from that.
Yeah.
But if you really want to be confident, this is a good way to move forward, just in case you have a job interview and you have to do a video call.
Yeah.
This is a practice. So once a month, all the way through the COVID, I organised it so people can actually feel more connections. So,
Oh,
so
that's really nice. So, um, oh, that's lovely. So, with the you showed me the device earlier on in the beginning, and that connects to your iMac.
yeah,
Oh, it connects to there. But did
it's
you?
there. It's going on the bottom of where the iMac,
Yeah.
where the speaker is. It goes straight into device,
Yeah.
and it's like sort of like a Bluetooth, and
Okay.
it's transferred to my processor,
Yeah.
and then it goes straight to my head. So
So and you mentioned you know, like the video, it doesn't have subtitles, but is there any device that can do that with video call? Like, is there anything that can
um,
almost instantly translate digital voice?
there is an online software called you can Google it. It's called Otter.ai, and it's free for the basic account, but it's not always perfect. So it's
Yeah.
like you can talk to it, and it's type all the
Yeah.
words. So I've used it for so my headphones starting to say that it's really loud on power. So it will be good if you be talking. What I was saying, for work, I sometimes we have a team meeting and we have to be on a video call, but not everybody is visual. They close the camera, and that is really annoying for me because I
Yeah.
don't know these people. I rely on visual, face, body expression to give me a clue what I need to say. So with that software or app called Otter.ai, it's a 2-second delay. It's fine, and it made a note on what people are talking about. And then when I saw my name, I thought, oh, my heart is beating. I said, I need to say something. I need to say something. It's all good, but at least I know what I need to do for my job.
Well, it's I don't think that situation or that feeling is like unique just to you, because as a teacher, when we were in full lockdown, trying to communicate with the students was really, really difficult. Most of them would have their cameras off, and I don't know what they're doing. And in some cases, it was they'd have their camera off and their microphone off, and they would just type, like text type. They could have been playing video games, they could have been in bed, could have been out at the cinema for all I know. Like, they could be doing anything. And it was hard, like, to communicate with them and to get them through. And then like, when the lockdown started to ease, one of the biggest problems that we had then was bringing the kids back out of their bedrooms, and bringing them in, because there was so much fear about surrounding the virus, or would they be safe, or what bubble is safe, or it was a crazy time. But luckily now we're back to normal. Teaching's great, we're all in the classroom together. And it's so much better.
It is nice to I mean, for some people having left their house for 2 years, it's crazy. Can you imagine what's going on in mentally? You say, "Oh, don't touch me," or whatever. So I just walk up to them and say, "Look, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yourself, to feel that." But when you're just talking about it's okay to ask for help, with whether it's your client or you're a teacher, or everybody got a different kind of problem, that we need to help each other doing that. But I think because I spend most of my life trying to adapt to other people, because like I said earlier, I was the only one in my area that was a hearing loss, so I didn't know how to cope another way around. And I had to go to school, which is 35 miles away from my home.
Wow.
So at 4 years old, I've been put into a taxi on my own to go straight to school. So yeah. So the reason why I had to go to that school, because the council said they were just specialised for hearing impaired, I think call it. It's just a small room with people, school children. There's children from Lancaster coming to Blackpool, and 4 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so but all the way through my school year, I never really spent any time with the deaf children. So again, I would adapt into a class, relying on my friend to give me a note, rather than the teacher giving me a note, because my teacher would say, "Well, you're no different to anyone else. You would do it." So I had to learn the hard way, and I did well.
Yeah. Well, I think things are very different now. I'm pretty sure that isn't how it is today.
I hope not.
Definitely not at the college. There's a lot of support for any sort of difficulty. Never mind a hearing difficulty. That's pretty serious. So, do you think, like, how did that affect you? Having that level of adversity or challenge to get over, how did that
this attitude, this feeling, knowing that I had to be on a video call or on the phone call. It didn't matter if I already got the cochlear implant. It's exactly the same feeling I had when I was a child. and it's bringing it back, and I can't get over it.
Yeah.
So once I get into it, I'm fine. Just
Yeah,
this.
because you said you were a little bit nervous before this, didn't you?
No.
But you're okay now, aren't you?
Talking a lot. But
Yeah.
I do talk a lot, and I'm very lively with people. I love being around people, and it
And-
shows.
Yeah, and you know what I've noticed is that since you've had the implant put in, your speech has gotten a lot better. Yeah, a lot better. And even now, it's like since last time I spoke to you, it's a lot better. It's much clearer. So that must be that's you.
Yeah.
Like, is that you adapting to what you hear, like the way that other people speak as well?
Yeah.
It's almost like you're learning how to pronounce words again, is it?
Yeah. It remembers to know when it is silent letter and when to put the S's in the end. I
Yeah.
always forget to do that. Oh, deaf people forget how to pronounce it. My partner is actually teaching English to people whose first language is not English.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we noted the difference. They describe the word. Is a what did you say? No, it was a description. You say description.
A description. Yeah.
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 So they pronounce it in a different way. So we try to tell people, go, that's how you pronounce it. So I pick up word by word. But if you meet people whose first language is not English, I find it very difficult to understand what they are saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they have that added layer of like their original accent on top. So it's like an extra code, or something else that you have to work through.
Yeah, it's a lot of reading to do it, a lot of listening. So when I got my implant nearly 13 years ago on the 27th of November, and that was 2 days before my birthday.
Wow.
So imagine I had this headband, bandage around my head, and all the people at the hospital thought I was 19 and having a party in the ward. Must be the Dutch. And so it took me a long time to understand what I'm actually hearing. Because the first time I heard something with my processor and I didn't understand how did the light switch actually make a sound.
Yeah. Wow.
And stop the boat. I never heard that one before. It's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. Like all these things that people who can hear just take for granted, like the sound of a light switch, or like a door creaking, or I don't know.
Or the cat meowing. We got a cat flap downstairs, and my cat Toki, he's now going out. Despite he's been indoor cat for 7 years.
Yeah, he's had enough of you after COVID. He's out of it.
And every time he comes through the cat flap, and I'm up here upstairs, and I heard him coming through the cat flap, and a big smile on my face, like, "You home." So it's just a little thing that make all the difference for me, is to practice to get to where I am, to be able to hear on a phone, be more confident on a video call, and be around with people. So yes, I might not pronounce all the word perfectly, but that's okay.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I haven't had any difficulty today, not at all. I think you've even like slowed down the way you speak a little bit to make the words clearer. Have you been practicing that maybe?
Well, I couldn't help it because I'm from Scotland, so we automatically speak really fast.
Yeah.
I cannot do it. Yeah, so
Oh man. So what was it you kind of like you described the hearing the light switch for the first time, but was there anything that really like took your breath away when you heard something for the first time? Maybe a song or a movie that you were familiar with, but then you like heard it in this high definition.
So if you think of examples that I have listened to music before I have my cooking plan, that would be a good example. So like the Queen, I can't really pronounce these words, but I think you know
But
what I meant.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one. You know when Brian May did the guitar solo,
Yeah. Yeah.
but before the implant dead, hear nothing. So when I heard it again, I'm like, what? All this time I've been missing.
Yeah. Wow, that's quite a thing to miss as well. That's impressive.
I know. So it's good that I can compare what I could
Yeah,
hear before and to now. So they are children who've been implants if they were, I don't know, babies. They then don't know any difference.
yeah. I've seen some videos like that on YouTube where a very small baby is had an implant and heard something for the first time, and their face completely changes because they hear their mother's voice, and it's very emotional. Like when
Yeah,
when you watch
yeah.
those. Wow.
As
So
I wonder if I had the cochlear implant when I was little
yeah,
from, yeah. So we're talking about technology have improved so much since then. I would offer the cochlear implant one in 1985, and
yeah.
I didn't know about it until I was 20.
Wow, yeah.
So I've been asking Mum, I said, well, what's all that about? And she said, when you get a cochlear implant, this is what's going to happen. And if you touch a computer, you will get a letter chopped. So I'm like, ooh, that got
Mm,
good. So
yeah.
there's a lot of stories. So yes, my mum was completely against me having a cochlear implant, but now to see how far I come with it, to over the moon, to enjoy having a telephone call with me once a week, just have a nice catch up. So we couldn't do that before.
Oh, does she have any does she have any like regrets or complex feelings about not letting you get it sooner?
No regret, really, but more of a she glad that she waited.
Yeah. Until the technology was more mature.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
So I had my implant in 2008. If it was 3 years before that, the the processor, the chip inside of it will not be compatible to the
right.
new product.
Yeah. So yeah,
I'm basically a robot.
yeah. Yeah, you're a cyborg for sure, right?
I'm like
Definitely.
I'm likely to kill.
You're a Terminator.
Early stage Terminator. Right, I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting when you look back to how time have changed, like technology, where you look at computer or the software. I remember having a computer called Commodore 64,
Yeah.
and I was 7 years old. I learned how to program, how to
Wow.
make a computer game. We didn't have any money to have
No,
a
no,
game,
no,
so we
no.
just program
Make
it.
your own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
my first computer was a Nintendo Entertainment System, a NES. So that's that's what I had. So yeah, I just had consoles, but I had to wait a very long time before getting an actual computer. I don't think I had my first computer until the year 2000, and that was one that I bought for about £50, and it was an old one that came
yeah.
from my friend's grammar school, and it was just one that they were going to throw away, and I managed to have that, and that was my first one.
Yeah.
I can't remember the specs on it, but I
Yeah.
don't think it was very good. I think it was Windows 95.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just amazing when we just look back to the computer, you really want to bring it back to life, you know, all the things we had back in the 80s. I would love to get all the collection of Commodore 64.
You can, yeah, I think you can still get that now. And you can get Atari have released an Atari with all of their classic hits on it as well. So yeah, that's cool. So do you play any games?
I used to play a lot of games, but I stopped. And I think because since I went to uni, I had to work for a job.
Yeah.
I was working all the time. I think it's because I was told that in university was really, really expensive and
Yeah.
I had to pay it all back. And that's what I was told. And so I didn't have all that information. So remember, I couldn't hear well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my issue was, oh, we're going to be broke. I need to get more money. So I got
Yeah.
a full job. I was working at 5:30 in the morning, finish at 3 in the morning, and start all over again. That's full job. So yeah, if I was playing game, and the last one was Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, that far back.
A
Wow.
long time ago. Yeah, Super Mario was it? Yeah.
You spoke a little bit about some of the difficulties that you had when you were at school. Like you had to rely on your friend to pass you a note and everything. Have you found any issues when it comes to finding work? Like has not being able to hear, or has that ever stood in your way of getting a job or anything?
Yeah, I had to well, one of my first job was like McDonald's. Oh
Me too.
dear. I mean I didn't have to be behind the counter or all that because that relied on communicating, really shouting at each other. I didn't
Yeah.
have to do any of that. I had to be on the floor, make sure everything's all clean. But I thought if you did get a job, that I need to work out how to get the job that I wanted to do. So I need to build up my confidence and say, right, I'm going to work in a 5-star hotel just to get me through. So from McDonald's to a 5-star hotel, that's a big jump.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was lucky that the person who interviewed me actually likes me. And he said, don't worry, we'll make sure that you are with someone and we work through any problem to come to me with the customer. There are customers who are MASH.
Yeah.
This is way before COVID,
Wow.
okay? They are people from Dubai or, and I couldn't do anything. I was standing on my own in my section and I'm waiting for somebody who I was working with to help me
Yeah.
to ask whether you want a tea or coffee. And because I saw these people wearing a mask, there was no chance. I wait,
Wow.
and this
Yeah.
person was getting angry. He said, why are you not coming over to me? I can't
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
So that's a downfall. But you overcome it in some way by relying on other people, but you don't want to rely on other
Yeah.
people. So you have to get better and you prove that you're a hard worker and you work on your own after that. So the more confident you do, the more reliable you become, the promotion is there.
Yeah.
I think the last time when I first met you, I was probably working in the hotel at the time. I'm not sure. The Hilton Hotel.
Yeah. That sounds familiar, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, yeah. So getting a job can be very, very frustrating at the time before my company implant. I saw a massive change. My speech wasn't very good. I understand that. And but
It wasn't terrible. It was just I think, I had to spend more time with you to kind of, you basically, you got good at listening and figuring out, and, and questioning and asking, did you mean this? And, so yeah, it was actually not a bad thing. It just, if anything, may, would make me a better communicator. I'm sure it would have that impact on other people as well.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think at the time I didn't realise that. So like I said, you have to adapt to the hearing people to understand what is actually going on in the back of your head, so I can understand it. So yeah, I had so many job interviews and I couldn't get a job for 2 years. I was trying to get a job as a studio photographer, and then I realised maybe because the way I was, you have to be able to talk to people. The new customer, you should not be too nervous about people. So I had to change the way I am, or should I change into a computer graphic, which I love doing it. So I changed it to that way and I've never looked back. But it's not based on the people. It was because I had so many photographers who contacted me saying, can you fix this on Photoshop? And that's when I realised that is the career for me.
Yeah. So sometimes, it can take a long time, can't it, to figure out what it is that you enjoy. And like you might have an idea about what it is that you think you want to do in life, and then something else comes along and it just clicks and you go, this is the one for me. This is what I want to do.
And it's coming together. It's like a big circle, if you like. So going from programming when you're 7 years old, computer graphic, photography, and back to Photoshop,
and then on to 3D as well. So you have gone full circle, because no doubt with the 3D and stuff, you're going to learn some sort of language and go back into programming. Awesome.
It's very exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
So do you have any like tips or words of wisdom or anything for anybody out there who might be watching, who is going through like the same kind of experience as you, but like at an earlier stage?
Well, most of the time I would say, don't give up, believe in yourself. And if you really, really want it, you have to work for it, understand it, then work around it, get the first step, get that one done, get the second step, and then the rest of it, the whole world is in your doorstep. So basically, don't give up. And I know I struggle a lot of things, but say like the project I'm working on Blender, I got stuck. And I can't work it out. Everything I see is exactly the same as the game in life. Puzzle. So the puzzle one step at a time.
That's it. It is a big puzzle, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a great way of looking at it, because that's such a positive way, because when you think of a thing as a challenge or a puzzle to overcome, it's fun. It's not like it isn't holding you back. It's something that you can complete, or you can get help to complete. Awesome. That's brilliant. So
it doesn't matter what your background is, whether you have disabilities or you can work on it. You can use it as your advantage to get to where you are. And be happy.
And you mentioned that you're living down south with your boyfriend. Are there any wedding bells on the horizon? Are you going to be getting married or anything like that?
Well, we know each other for over 12 years. And
what's he waiting for? What's he called? What's he called? What's his name?
Well, one step at a time. I managed to move in here 2 years ago. It's taken this long.
What's his name?
Adrian.
Hey, come on, Adrian. Come on, man. Pull the finger out. Let's go. Let's get a ring on this girl. Come on now. What are you waiting for? you never know what might happen tomorrow. You know, you need to step on this and, you know, make a solid commitment. She deserves it. Look at her. She's bloody lovely.
Oh, please.
Okay. Well, you know, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story, and, you know, and I loved every minute of it, and thank you so much for your time, and for sharing, like, you know, everything, you know, about the challenges that you've overcome, and, you know, the things that you've gone through, and also especially thank you for sharing the information about Photoshop as well, because, you know,
Yeah.
my students are going to find that really useful as well. So thank you so much.
Right.
I'd love to have you back another time. You know, if you're working on a project or whatever, maybe we can talk about you know, how to make corrections or something, or maybe we can do a demo or something.
Yeah, sure. We'll do that someday. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you for
Oh,
inviting me. It's so
no
lovely to
worries.
see you again.
I know. I wish I was there so I could give you a hug. Oh. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Oh, nice.
It's never left my side. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I got that from
Never
where
too
I
far
met
away. Never too far away from some geekery here. We got this guy as well. We got
you. Yeah.
all the bobbleheads on the go. But
Okay.
yeah, thank you so much and yeah, I hope to see you again soon.
All right. Me too. All
Cheers.
right.
Bye.
Bye.